What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for transfer talk, and we're going live for this one, people. We're going live. Let's go. We're good. We're doing some transfer talk today. We're going to talk in general, and I also want to speak about how Tanaka, because people, the word is spreading about how Tanaka, and this is where it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Not for this window, but in case anything goes wrong, because we know what happens when you perform well at Leeds. You perform well at Leeds, big clubs will look. Yeah, but we're going to speak about that. What we're saying here, oh, sure, another nobody coming in. We'll see. We'll see. Announce the medical room expansion. We'll get into that. We'll get into all of that. We'll get into all of that. What's going on, Holy Ghost? Peace to you as well. And yeah, man, listen, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm still feeling good after the Everton win. I really am. And look, I know it's only one game. I know it's only 3 points. There's a lot more to go. There's 37 tough games left. But it was so good to get off to a good start, and I'm still buzzing off that one. Listen, every point we get in the Premier League this season is going to be precious, okay? Every single point. So I'm going to just enjoy that one until we roll around against Arsenal. Now, I'm going to try and do something. You know, I'm not going to say no. Let me not put it out there. Let me not put it out there. Afternoon to you. Johnny saying here, I hope you had a supermarket after that win. I did, actually. I did have one. Arsenal, easy 3 points. We'll see. We'll see. But look, people, an afternoon to you, Ida, man. What's going on? Noah Okafor, Fabrizio put this out earlier today. Noah Okafor on his way to England as he signs as a Leeds United player today. 4-year contract plus the option to extend, fee around 20 million euros to AC Milan. And just for completion, because obviously there's a lot of stuff out there that it's 13 million base fee, etc., etc. But the deal will be 21 million euros after everything is accounted for. And as I always say, people, you want those add-ons to be paid, because if it's paid, it means the team's done what it's supposed to do and the player's done what he's supposed to do. So you're hoping that it gets to 21 million. And I think, I don't know, and this is a picture of him outside of a Greg's. So there you go. You know, he's been spotted around the place. So don't know what the situation is with his medical at this point, people. But obviously, that's the star for me. That's the asterisk with this one, because he has to pass that medical. And obviously, with previous that he's got and everything else, there is no guarantee. But I think with the way that we probably do medicals, maybe he will pass it. But yeah, we will see with that one. But according to everything else, personal terms and are done, club to club talks are agreed. It is now just on the medical. So we'll see when he comes in, and then when he comes in, see what he says, you know, in his interview and everything else like this. But yeah. Chris saying here, use your immense knowledge. Oh, that's tremendous. Convince me this is a good deal. Look, I've just said, and Hyru here saying here, I hope Okafor is our Clivert, struggling Serie A, more suited for the Prem. What I would say is that it's not one that takes, like, he's not levels above anything that we've got now. And people confuse this and I don't know how people confuse when I talk about these things. They said he's way more technical than Dan James. That's not what I said. You know, that's not anything close to what I said. There's players that are way more technical than Dan James, but Dan James is still better than those players. What I said is that he isn't clear of anything that we've currently got in terms of he automatically starts as soon as he comes in. I don't get that feeling from Okafor. I think it's more of a case of if he plays well, he gets to keep the shirt like many others, but he wouldn't have been like, say, and I hate to bring him up again, Paixão, you know, in terms of if he was to come, he is your difference maker. He is probably your go-to guy. You know, like when Rafinha kept on seeing the ball for us in that team, he would probably be that for us in the attacking sense. And that's what I meant. In terms of what he is to Ramazani, to Monto, to James, for me, he's a mix in that part. So he's going to add to it in that sense, but he doesn't go way and above any of the current wingers we've got, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Reaper here, has anyone ever failed a medical? Yes, Cuisance did. He failed a medical. If you remember him, we was going to sign him. Where was going to sign him from? Was it from Bayern Munich or Marseille? I can't remember which club it was, but Cuisance did not pass a medical, and then we moved on to somebody else, and I don't remember who it was, but it turned out to be for the best anyway. But yeah, Lewis here saying here, man, the days have passed to Rafa and Pray, almost nostalgic. Yeah, Al, listen, I'm gonna give you another chance, Al, but there's a couple of things. That's why Farker's the manager, so many experts here. Well, you're also giving your opinion when you say something like that, Al. And you're also giving your input that you think that Farke knows the best and no one else should give an opinion. And also you're on a stream where Leeds fans in general are talking about transfers. So what are you doing here? You know, this is what I don't get. When people leave comments like this, you make yourself look silly because you're the one that's getting involved in the chat that you clearly don't want to be involved in. If you don't want to give your opinion, leave. It's as simple as that. I just don't get when people leave comments like that. So there you go, Al. Bobby here surely would know not by now if he failed his medical and arrived in Leeds a while ago. Sometimes, Bobby, but sometimes they do medicals over 2 days. And obviously with our game on Saturday night, and we're on Wednesday now, right? They can probably get it done by tomorrow in completion. But look, hopefully there's nothing that shows up because Daniel Farke has clearly pushed for this, as Fabrizio has said before. He obviously sees him as a part of the puzzle which will help us survive. That's what you got to go with, people. Look, Chris and everyone else will all have ideas of who he'd like to sign. But at the moment, Danny Farke is the one that's being backed. He's the one whose job and reputation is on the line. If he feels he's the best guy for the job, okay, we'll talk about that all at the end of the window in terms of the expectations of the players we've got. But if Okafor is the one after so many rejections, by the way, so many rejections, he's obviously not the first choice. I think that's clear to see. But if they believe that he can be, you know, a difference maker, let's get him in. But he has to pass that medical, man. Has to pass that medical. Lewis saying Okafor injured, walking out of Gritch. Tremendous. What I was looking at as well was this. And look, it probably wasn't an option because AC Milan probably wouldn't have done this. But I look at this kind of deal, what Forest have done. And again, Forest very aggressive and everything else with their business. But just look at this kind of deal they've done via Ornstein as well. Nottingham Forest reach agreement with Juventus to sign Douglas Luiz, loan with buy mechanisms for Forest at 30 million euros. But the obligation is based on games played or option if the Brazil international falls short of required appearances. Now that is sensible. And listen, this is due to Douglas Luiz having a injury-riddled season last year where he did not hit his stride at Juventus. I would love to have seen that rather than just an outright £18 million buy. But that's where we are right now. And by the way, that's a tremendous deal for Forest. That's for sure. So yeah, we'll look out for Okafor and everything else like that. But it will just seem now that the medical is the next stage, and we'll see if he gets over that hurdle. Maybe he'll be involved on Saturday evening. We will see. We will see. Another one that we've got, and again, I can see what people are going to say already. I can already feel it. James Justin, according to the day, I can already see what people are going to say. And actually, just on Okafor, not enamored by the signing, but hopefully he can offer us something. And of course, that's what we all hope for, of course. According to the Daily Mail on 19th of August, there are hopes that the English right-back's issues are only short-term, giving the Leeds United hierarchy an evident boost. The news outlet reports that the West Yorkshire outfit are assessing the move for the 27-year-old at Ellen Road, and they may be able to get a deal over the line before the end of August. So according to, because I haven't seen anything outright, this is the only thing I've seen in the update for James Justin, but it seems that Leeds United is still hopeful that a deal will be done and that his injury isn't long-term. So there we are. Lewis here, can we get injury discount? Don't know how that will work, but you never know. Maybe they can ask. But one comment did make me laugh in terms of this. Not James Justin, but Noah Okafor. It was something along the lines of paraphrasing here. Does all our signings come with an injury table or so a treatment table? That popped me. Not gonna lie. Yeah, assessing. That's one of the buzzwords. That's absolutely it. Michael here, Medical Science United. What's going on with all these injury risk experiments? The medical team writing a thesis. Oh, that was another one as well with Noah Okafor. Again, paraphrasing, but it made me laugh big when I read it. His muscles and him have a light relationship, of rarely talking in a relationship. It was something like that. It popped me. Sly here saying Leicester fans don't want him. Consider Face to be better. I wouldn't want Val Face in the Premier League. No way. But I understand. Yeah, Leicester fans have said that James Justin isn't the same player since his long-term injuries, and I do agree with that. But I do think in the right system, much like with Jadon Bogle when he came here after the nightmare at Sheffield United he had, I think that it can work. And you see with the way that we're setting up with that strong three in midfield, which I'm still very impressed with, by the way. Very, very impressed. I think that it could probably suit him better if he's sheltered a little bit more. Ash, we talk about injured players, and you mentioned Tomiyasu. You know what I mean? If you're looking for a walking injury, he's probably the worst out in the world right now. I don't think there's a more injured player than Tomiyasu. But then again, he is injured, he is free, so he could be an option. But yeah. Leeds United come saying, like Ampadu and Bogle, Sheffield United said that fans said they were bad. Yeah, I mean, well, not so much with Ampadu, I don't think. I think in the end with Ampadu, we just got sucked into the suckiness of the team. But yeah, but look, I saw Bogle when he was playing for Sheffield United, and in the end, he did get sucked in the end with all of the badness. But I think that was just a collective of the team just sinking. But he's obviously rebuilt himself, and he's come back even stronger. And if the Everton performance is anything to go by after such little training, there's more to come with Jadon. That's very promising. But yeah, sometimes it works with you at a certain club. Sometimes it doesn't work at another one. That's football, isn't it? Stephen here saying, rather have Justin in phase, 100%. Wout Face at Premier League level was a disaster. And listen, it's so funny seeing him. And who's that other one for Southampton? Jack Stevens. Giving it the fans like this, the whole ear things, or what you're saying now. That's just like pub talk fan stuff where they don't understand the context. You were obviously horrendous in the Premier League. At Championship, you will fare better. There's no need to do this. Just prove yourself again at Championship level. Just don't understand that kind of mentality. Bobby here saying Goodmanson looked very good. He absolutely did, Bobby. But again, we need another left back. And there's no talk of a left back in this edition today. But like I've said before in the previous two videos, Tsimikas can be gotten, possibly for loan. Come on. Tsimikas, Goodmanson competition. Would love that. Would love that, man. But yeah, James Justin, I would consider that at this point still on the table. So we'll look out for that. Someone who won't be leaving this summer is Joel Piroe, who has recently spoken to Dutch media over there in saying that he's had approaches this summer, but Leeds United don't want him to go, and he doesn't want to leave either. He wants to prove himself at Premier League level. He does maintain, though, and he said this a few times in interviews, in all fairness, that he does want to return to PSV one day, but today's not that day. He does not want to go, and all he's focusing on next is Arsenal on Saturday. And yeah, listen, I'm totally with that, with Joel Piroe. I want him to stay here because I do. If we've got a chance in the box, I trust him to put it away. 1,000%. He is a good finisher, technically good. And you saw even with Everton, again, one game sample size, I get it, people. But his hold-up play and the way that he was laying off the ball was vastly improved from in the Championship. So he's obviously been working on his game. More of the same from that for Joel Piroe, and get some goals. And I like it. I really do like it. So Joel Piroe will definitely be here. But who else would join him? Who else will join him there? Bobby, yeah, if he's in the box, yeah, absolutely, Bobby, yeah. Look, his outside the box work. Again, I always liken him to the same kind of thing. But Becchio's first touch was horrendous back in the day. But you trust Becchio if he's in the box to shoot, he'd score a goal. And I'm liking that to Piroe. Piroe just looks a bit more smoother with it because he's more elegant of a player than Becchio. But I absolutely trust Joel Piroe if he's up front. 100% I do. Michael is saying as well, Piroe, if he has a good season, gives him a chance for the Dutch national team. He's got the best platform. Absolutely, yeah. If he does well, he'll definitely be in the conversation for Haaland. That's for sure, and I'm sure that's in the back of his mind as well. So yeah, we will see with that. But yeah, Joel Piroe will be staying. Now, someone who I don't think will be joining, even though this has happened, people. And again, it's not Kristovic, who we've been rejected many times this summer. He is going to Atalanta. Good for him. But the Rodrigo Muniz deal in that instance is off. Now, a couple of you messaged me saying, is this going to be back on for Leeds? I'll get your thoughts in the comments as well. But I would say no. I just don't see it happening, people. I think that ship has sailed. And I don't think Fulham would want to sell him to Leeds anymore. And you saw what he did again, what he was doing last season. He came off the bench for Fulham, 90 plus 6 minute, ruined a clean sheet for one of my players in my fantasy team, but we're not bothered about that. And he scored a goal in a 90 plus 6 minute. And if Fulham can't get a better replacement than Muniz, they're going to keep him. So, yeah, and that's where I am as well, Stephen. Muniz, no way. Fulham keeping him for sure. Yeah, I just don't see what benefit it gives Fulham for selling him and getting someone inferior when he is proving himself at this level to be a very, very handy asset. So, and then I don't see them selling him to Leeds United unless it's for an astronomical price. And if they're not going to accept 40 million from Atalanta, they're going to want more from Leeds United for being in the Premier League with them. So I think, guys, what my opinion on this one is that we are not going to get Rodrigo Muniz. I think we're going to look elsewhere. So yeah, Nick, me too, man, me too. I continue to hold out hope for Mitro. Well, funnily enough, the latest report I read with him is that Fulham were reconsidering signing Mitrovic, but only if I think it's Al Hilal release him from his contract and pay that 25 million termination fee. Otherwise, they won't be able to do it. So there we are, man. There we are. Hyru here, if we're going to get another striker, Mitrovic or Demirovic, yeah, I'm with that too, Hyru. Either one of the two, love the presence. And when you just look at how our team is built right now, they both fit in. Both fit in. Obviously, Mitchell would be my first choice, but I'm not mad at the second option either, man. Darren here saying we wasted the striker spot on DCL Metcha. I thought that too, Darren, but Farker has been very, very clear, by the way, that he wants another forward. You know, he's made no secret of that. He mentioned it before the Everton game. He mentioned it after the Everton game. He's not letting up. By the way, no. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. Christy is saying, with what we have so far, I would trigger the 50 million. We've penny pinched on everyone else. Yeah, we have not spent a lot of money. And listen, that was put to Parag, wasn't it? In that you spent around 70-something million, which, Parag, I'm sure, appreciated. But yeah, listen, as Parag says, there's business to be done near the end of the window. So we will see then. Like I say, we'll judge it all come the end of the window, man. Yeah. Metra's pen was class, to be fair. Absolutely. Youssef saying 4 strikers in a 1 striker system is crazy. It is, Youssef, but as Farkas said himself, again, going by what the manager's saying, with Metra and DCL's injury histories, it would be wise to get in another forward. So yeah, I mean, listen, when all 4 of them are actually fit, it's going to be a bit of a madness, but that's what he said. He said those 2 together have had bad injury histories. So we need to get another striker. So I was very surprised with that too. I just hope that they don't just settle with Okafor coming in. Oh yes, he can play off the left and up front. Please don't do that. If you want another out and out forward, go pay the big bucks and get one and make sure that we survive. Yeah, Nick saying here, DCL Metro only equal 1 striker combined with their injury histories. That's tremendous. Ali here saying back was still available, and I wasn't convinced with James against Everton. Yeah, I mean, look, again, one game, but when you saw everyone else moving and working as well as they did, Dan James did stick out a bit, but he hasn't had a good preseason overall in terms of fitness and games. So it's probably going to take him a little while. But look, DJ at this level, we will see. He's still an unproven commodity, in my opinion. We're going off his championship form. I want him to bring it into the Premier League, but he's still got time, man. Yusuf here, do you think they could revert back to the 4-2-3-1? In certain games they can, Yusuf, yeah, but the 4-3-3 is looking good at right now. And we're probably going to have to utilize that in most games. And how do you just break up that 3 midfield? You know, how do you break that up? It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, so there we are with Kristovic. So let me just cross off a couple of these. James Justin. Bilal El Kanous, I'm going to leave this as the very last update. I said in a previous video that I think that this is going to be gone, and I'm going to stick with that. Crystal Palace close to agreement with Leicester for Bilal El Kanous for a 30+ million package. I think it's around 32 million people. With the Moroccan keen on the move. He's already agreed personal terms with Palace. I think once Eze moves to Tottenham, this one, then he goes to Palace, and that is that. But then who do we move on to next? And I was looking up at Gus Haaland just to see his situation. Obviously, Sheffield United not doing very well right now. They haven't won a game yet. They're 0-3. And for me, Gus Haaland should not be playing in the championship, let alone a team that's at the bottom currently. I know they can climb the table. I know. Point being, he should be in the Premier League. Now, with Bilal El Kanous gone, our long-term interest, while Farker's been here as well, by the way, in Haaland, could there be a deal done? According to Graham Bailey, he thinks that Haaland could be staying at Sheffield United in his new role, and he's captain at this point in time when he's on the pitch, I think until Jack Robinson gets on. But he feels like he could stay. But we know money talks, and we know opportunity talks as well. And if Gus Haaland's got the opportunity to come and play for Leeds, or there's interest for him in Eredivisie going back to Holland, he will take it. And for me, again, I look at the makeup of our team and what we've done so far this summer. I don't see us getting an outstanding 8-10. So going up levels, just going by what we've done this summer, I don't see it happening. But if Gus Haaland is available and you bring him into the team, set piece threat, we can move Stack into the box so he can be an attacking threat in the box. I say we do it, man. I say we do it. But Yeah, Sheffield United should sell Harmer to raise more funds for players. Yeah, their defense, I gotta say, their defense is looking spooky, man. Admahadvich has left, and they look mad. I know they've brought in a new centre back, but it looks mad. Gray here though saying Harmer isn't a big enough upgrade for the price. Well, we don't know what the price is at this point. We don't know. What it won't be is probably the 30 million we tried to lowball him with last summer, which was a Mickey take. We was taking the mick with that. It'll probably be a bit more, but I think it could be money well spent in this current system that we've got. Ryan here saying I think 15 million gets Harmer. I think so too. I definitely think that could probably get it done. Ali saying here, Harmer's body languages look off to me. I think he'd be open to a move. I disagree with that completely, Ali. If you're talking in the last match where he probably had, I think it was known he had about 30 touches, which is very unusual for him. I think everyone's probably off in that game against who did he play? Swansea. In the previous two games, he's been on it. You know, he literally scored from the halfway line in the cup game. He's been on it. For me, there's been no issues with that. Actually, they're saying here it's frustrating we haven't taken any loans, but I wonder if we might be saving those for the winter window in event of injury. Now, for me, you can't. You have an eye on the January window. You have to, but you can't be planning for that because you don't know what's going to come before that. You know what I mean? Especially with the kind of players we're buying. You know, they can have 10 players out at one time. But now, for me, I don't think they look at the winter window differently at this point. You've got to plan for now, and then if you need any changes come the January window, do so then. But I wouldn't be going now. We'll try and get this guy in January. I think that's a really bad way to plan out. Yeah, Darren here saying I think the loans will come in last. Yeah, I think so. We've got to utilize the loan market. Have to. I think we definitely have to, man. But yeah, it would be interesting to see if Gus Harmer is available. One for Chris Kingy, and he's not going to like this one. This is just for you, man. Napoli are going to be moving for a new striker, Chris, because of Lukaku's injury, and they've made contact with Talu Orokade's camp. He's valued at 20 to 25 million euros by Genk after being top scorer in Belgium last season. So there you go, Chris. He's going off the table. I'm telling you, he's going to go off the table. He will not be at Genk much longer, but it won't be to us, Chris. I'm sorry to say, but there you go. That one's just for you, my man. Just going on like former Wonder Kids as well, just quickly. Josip Brekalo, remember him, Croatian winger. He's going on a free to Oviedo. Crazy how things go in football, isn't it? All these promising like youngsters when they start out as wonder kids, and the career doesn't quite go the way that they thought. And Brekalo's only 27 still, so I'm surprised we didn't go for that. Chris saying here, keep it up, KJ. I'll revoke my membership. That's tremendous. Well, there you go, Brekalo, man, crazy stuff. Now, moving on to what we currently have. And I just want to say this because I knew this was going to happen with Tanaka. Man, the rival fans are looking at him and saying, Leeds only paid 3 million for him. Maybe 15 million can get it done. It was so obvious it was going to happen. Listen, Tanaka got man of the match in the last game. I'm not mad at it. It could have been anyone. I had Ampadu. I could have had Stack as well, and Stack has been getting plaudits as well. But Tanaka's name has been coming out of opposition fans' mouths a lot in the last few days. And look, this is one of those things where I want Tanaka to stay. I'm not saying sell him. Please let me make that clear. But when if he is to leave, we're gonna make some serious money on this player. He ain't for sale. He ain't going nowhere. All right, he ain't going nowhere. But Tanaka is going to be one where we make so much money on him. And look, did he sign a new contract after he came? When he signed for us, did he then sign a new contract later in the season? I think he might have. But someone clarify that for me. I should have looked myself, in all fairness. But if his agent was doing his job at the time, if you sign for 3 million, you could easily put in a minimum fee release clause of around 18 million. And that would be fair because you've only paid 3 million. So I hope in whatever contract he does have now, Leeds United have, fixed that minimum fee release clause to something way higher, because this guy, if he keeps on performing the way he's performed so far and what we think he can do, he's going to be going for some serious bang. But like I say, I want him to stay here long-term, build with us when we ascend to Europe. That is the dream. But I'm just letting you know, people, how Tanaka is no secret. And I think it was amplified when Ian Wright spoke about him, and it was amplified further when Declan Rice spoke about him. Now he's on the big stage, Monday Night Football as well, under the lights, performing the way he did. Now everyone's starting to see it, and that's what happens, man. That's what happens. Snoop Huggy White, we will swap him for an injury project. Calvin Phillips. Dave saying here, August 2024, 4-year contract. Yeah, I just thought I thought that we may have re-signed him to an improved contract, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, Ashley has said earlier, use your contacts and steer leads in the way of Take. Yeah, again, he was one of those that I said, God, that's when you're talking about a player that raises the standard of the wingers you've got. He comes in and he does shift Dan James down to the bench, unfortunately for Dan, because he is one hell of a talent. And he gives us something completely different, being a left footer on the right side. We do not have anything like that in the squad right now. And I don't include Harrison with that. We've seen that before. So yeah, someone like Atake coming in, that's raising the snap, like the levels of the squad for sure. Yeah, and he will be expensive, but like someone said earlier, we've basically penny pinched in nearly every signing so far. Surely it's worth it to splash out on one like talent that can put you above, or put you over the top, I should say. But yeah, we'll see. We're not going to get him, but yeah. Jive saying here, going back to Harmer, would love Gus to come to Leeds. He is quality. Would love to see Largy get a chance, but I don't think Farker likes him, and that angers me. Yeah, look, we're going to see what happens with Ramazani once Okafor comes in. I never thought it would be possible, but with the way that they've reintegrated Jack Harrison back into the team, and Harrison trying that old PR move of putting cash behind the bar, like everybody is thick in their head. Look, salute to you if that does it for you. But I get what the PR games are. It would not surprise me to see Ramazani leave on loan. It really wouldn't surprise me. But we will see if when we get any further news. But the whispers have been getting a bit louder when it comes to that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Ramazani. Again, didn't even touch the pitch against Everton. Harrison, Aronson, all these guys came on before him. So that kind of does tell you a bit of a story, doesn't it? Just a bit. Liam with the super chat, super thanks. Thank you. Super chat, isn't it, when we're live? Thank you for that, Liam. Thank you for the support, man. What's Dave saying here? Current market value. Look, if you're using, I always say this to people, if you're using transfer market, that's only guesstimates. Okay, transfer market are not the be all and end all of transfer values. They had Granit Xhaka at a certain amount. He went for way higher. They're just a rough guide, people. Don't use transfer market as your oracle when it comes to transfer numbers. If it does say 10 million euros, then we know that's very low, don't we? We're not selling Tanaka for any 10 million, are we? We're not doing that. Last samurai saying here, if Amari Hutchinson is 37.5, our Howe must be 50. Yeah, two different positions, but I get the point. Absolutely. Lewis here saying we should trade Harrison for Gus Haaland. I'd absolutely do that. But again, Harrison, the whole purpose of why people are so angry with him is because he didn't want to play championship football, even though that's probably more his level. He's not going to want to go to Sheffield United, especially in the current state they're in, is he? But I would do that deal myself, but I don't think Jack Harrison will. Michael, I mean, again, two different things, Michael, but I'll read your comment. Jack Harrison deserted his post when the club needed bodies. Del Piero stayed with Juve to get him out of relegation. Turned down a move to Man United. Come on, man. We're grown people here, Michael. Jack Harrison leaves a sour taste. Again, I'm not mad at Jack Harrison for leaving. I've always said I understand it from a player's point of view. You don't want to be in a championship. But it's just the facts of how he did it, in terms of he was literally injured when he left the first time and wanted to be one of the first 6 out of the door that we could allow. And when injured, you know what I mean? He was injured when he left, and he was that desperate to get out. And look, money behind the bar, that may buy a few fans off. For me, it's performances on the pitch. That's the only thing that will turn it around. And look, the last couple of years, he hasn't been good. You know, if we were getting a backup player that were good in the past few years, it'd be much easier to take, wouldn't it? But he has literally regressed. Like, he should be playing MLS football with the way that he's played over the last couple of years. So he's got a lot of work to do for me on the pitch. You can go to children's homes. You can buy people new legs if they need them. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm sorry, it doesn't. You've got to perform on the pitch, and hopefully he shows that when he's given opportunities. But I just don't see him going anywhere, people. But yeah, and Del Piero, by the way, even though you go to the professional space and you become, a professional and you look after your career, that guy had Juve in his heart, didn't he? So I don't think it was like a big surprise when he rejected Man United to stay at Juventus, because he's a Juventus guy through and through. Even Gianluigi Buffon did the same, even though he's not Juventus, from a boy. But a few of them stayed, which is quite telling, isn't it? Remember that period. Crazy stuff. Gray here saying here, I want to see the Harrison redemption arc. We'll see, man, because we're definitely going to see it here, aren't we? And James here saying, to be fair, though, we gave him a contract. We did. Yeah, should have sold him, but it was actually the 49ers that stopped it. But yeah, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Stevie here saying, Jack was such a letdown, jumping off a sinking ship. In any case, he's not good enough for us, regardless of feelings. Yeah, that's just where I am with it. It's nothing to do with him leaving on loan. I get it from a professional point of view, but it's just the talent level. Is it there? Is it there? Is it ever going to come back from when he was like 22? The guy's like 28 now. But yeah, he's obviously worked himself back with the good graces of Daniel Farke. It's obviously working with a few fans in terms of the PR move. So we will see. We will see, man. What else have we got? Oh, just quickly, this was announced as I came on live, just for anyone that is planning to go. October fixture changes. Our fixture against Tottenham will now kick off at 12:30 on Saturday, 4th of October, while our clash with West Ham is now changed to 8 p.m. on Friday, 24th of October. So if you guys have made any plans for these games, hopefully you got refundable tickets or amendable tickets, and you can, plan accordingly, because a couple of the fixtures have been changed. Darren here saying Farke too soft on him. I don't think so, man. When it comes to being soft, I don't think Farke is soft at all. I think his demeanor and the way he speaks make him sound like he's a bit soft. But I think he knows that someone's got to work really hard. And, take the case of Willie Gnonto or even Charlie Creswell, even though that was just handled poorly, so poorly, really. But I don't think he's soft overall. I will say that. But I think he underestimates just what it meant to the fans about Harrison leaving, because he kept using Junior Firpo being the worst player as an example. It's not the same thing. He used Brendan Aronson as an example. Again, not the same thing. Brendan Aronson didn't have the equity and the love that Harrison had from the Bielsa days, which carries a massive emotional attachment for a lot of the fans at the football club. It was a completely separate issue, which I don't think he really fully grasped. But with him now reintegrating him back into the squad, I just don't see how he's going to be sold. I was convinced that Jack Harrison would be leaving on loan. I really was. But as the information changes, as I always say, people, my opinion has changed. And I think he's going to be here now, especially going from the 38 shirt to the 20. It might mean something. All right. So, yeah. Yeah, you have to earn everything with Farke. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, yeah, that is it, man. That is it for the stuff so far. What did I do for the poll? Yeah, I just put in something like silly in the poll, man. I didn't really have nothing, so I just put, am I original? Am I the only one? Yeah. I can't believe 41% of you don't know what I'm talking about. That's tremendous. That's a Backstreet Boys song, people. That's gone down like the whole Dumb and Dumber joke I did a few months ago. Crazy, crazy. Mike here, in regards to Harrison, I think it was as simple as he didn't have any takers. Man, it's a crazy thing, man, because I see Arsenal fans saying this about some of their players and it's the same things that both sets of fans say. Why can we not shift any of our rubbish, and we see other teams shift their rubbish quite easily? It's one of those things. What are these two clubs in particular, Arsenal and Leeds, just saying here, not doing behind the scenes to get them out like fast enough or harshly enough, as cold as that is? And maybe it is the emotions of the fan base not allowing it to happen, even if the fans don't want a player here. They don't want him to be treated poorly. But man, if I could tell you some stories about some players that have been, they call them the bomb squad. And it is brutal what happens to some players in terms of how other professionals are treated. You wouldn't believe it, man. I should get someone on, but yeah. It's crazy, man. Yeah, Darren, Arsenal crazy to give their new contract to their unwanted players. Yeah, you're talking about Trossard. Yeah, Trossard, they tried to get rid of, and they give him a new contract, no extended years, but higher wages. Make that make sense. You know what I mean? Stevie here saying we're still paying Bamford. That's astonishing. Again, this is the thing with it as well. We literally heard Daniel Farke say Bamford's not in my plans anymore. And does anyone else feel like DCL is going to get that number 9 shirt? I feel like he will. But we've heard him say that. But what we haven't heard, and I'll keep repeating this, people, you're not going to hear the 49ers say it. You're not going to hear Parag saying it. We haven't heard anything from media from other clubs saying that they've been offered Bamford. We haven't heard a peep. We haven't heard that Bamford's agent is speaking to, I keep using him as an example, Middlesbrough. We've heard nothing from Middlesbrough's side to say that he's been offered to them or anything else like that. We've literally just heard one update from Bamford. That's it. This guy should be literally on the outs. Melier, there's so many players here that should be gone so we can further continue strengthening the team. Oh, is he already confirmed? Oh, I did not know. I did not know what. So on the site, it's got DCL as number 9. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't realize. So there we are. There we are. So there we are. He has got the number 9 shirt, much like with Perry getting the number 1 shirt, even though Melier's still here. I had that feeling when we signed DCL that he would also get that 9. And there it is, man. There it is. Heath in the house. What we saying, Heath? How do you see Aronson contribute going forward? How do you best see Aronson contribute going forward? Ah, man, listen, I think he will pop up with a goal and assist at some point, but I feel like he's going to be more of the, like we used him against Everton, he's going to be that pressing from the front energy guy. And to expect any more from him, it's a bonus, I guess. But that's what I mean, man. The tech levels and everything else should have gone up. It should have gone up in that case, because we've also got Longstaff for that in a deeper position in terms of running around. I do wish we had upgraded on Aronson, and there was talk of Bundesliga clubs coming in for him, but then he reiterated his desire, much like Piroe, to stay, and Farker likes him as well. So again, that takes him out the running for leaving. But yeah, I see him more as an energy guy in like the last 20 minutes or so, unless we have deep injuries. If Dan James doesn't perform, I can see him playing off the right, because Aronson has been decent in that position previously as well. So yeah, I see him contribute in that way. Yeah. Pop saying here, Bamford destined for the USA. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Yusuf here, we still don't have a viable Prem level 10. Yeah, but I think you can see with the way that we're going, I think it's going to be more of an advanced 8 than an out-and-out 10. I think we're going to use, say, like someone interchanging. If Tanaka goes forward, Stat will stay back. If Stat goes forward, Tanaka will stay central. I think we're going to utilize it more in that way overall. Take Paddy at FC Dallas. Yeah, man, send him out to America if he's willing to go. He did say in an interview, didn't he, with American channel before the season started, before the preseason started, that he would consider a move to the MLS when he was linked with Wrexham. So we'll see. Look, there's still time in the window, man. We've got a couple of weeks left, just under a couple of weeks. So yeah, we'll see what happens, because we surely Bamford, Melier, especially Melier in particular, he won't want to be third choice. They've got to have moves lined up, and for 5 million, someone's going to take Elan Melier for sure. Someone's going to take him. Darren saying here, maybe Bamford joins Messi at Miami. That's tremendous. I don't think Miami can take any more foreign players. I might be wrong with that, Darren. Don't quote me on that, but I think they've filled their quota of foreign players. So I don't know if you could even join there, but yeah. But yeah, that is it, people. That is it for the video. That's it for the stream. Let me just see if there's anything else that's broken since I've been on. You know what happens, people. You come off, and then all of a sudden there's news broken. Yeah, there's nothing else. There's nothing else at this time. Forest, yep. Isak, man, you see that Isak post? Crazy stuff. But yeah, that is it for the video, people. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Please like the video before you go. Best way to help the channel out. And all that stuff. Like the video, share it around and all that. Even if you don't like it, share it to your haters so they can watch me too. But listen, people, that is it. I'll see you in the next one. Be good. Peace out.